Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Hear Our Voices. This is your host, Khadijah D. And this is where we tell stories, give resources, and change the narrative of homelessness. We have so much to get into, but a couple of things I want to get into, just give you facts. Please share this on social media as much as you can. We're trying to get out there, we're trying to grow. That's one thing. Please follow us on social media. We're doing TikTok and we're doing YouTube and things like that. We're also still hiring a person for narrative change, which is under my bucket. So if you would like to work with me and you have went to shelter as either you're a child with your parent, so a company minor in shelter in New York City, or you were a parent with a child under 21, you qualify to be a part of my team. Your job will be helping with social media, going to events. It's only a couple hours a week. You get paid doing this and you get a little stipend. It shouldn't affect your benefits or nothing like that if you even on benefits. And I would love to have you part of my team. We are looking for somebody. Please join my team. So email me your resume and I will be definitely put it into the right channels, and I'll make sure that you know how to post on social media and things like that. I have a couple of things to go on to tell you about and updates and things like this. This is an old program, but they revamped it last year. It's called Pathway Homes. And they actually, I want to say it first initially started with families, but they said they have a small subgroup for singles. So if you are a person who's in shelter, who went to shelter, and this might be a program that you might be able to use. So Pathway Home, basically go in Path or go to your single shelter or whatever, and they might ask you, do you have a friend that you could stay with? And you're gonna say, yes, I do. I have a friend I could stay with, right? And if you have a friend that you could actually stay with, or a friend, a family, just somewhere where you can stay, and they'll pay the rent for you. That's how it is. They go based on your family size or who's in the family. So if it's a single person, I'm gonna say it's $1,200. But if it's more, the more people is usually on the case, it's a little bit more money. I'm not saying it's a crazy astronomical amount of money, but it's a little bit more money depending on your family size. I'm not sure how much how big, like, what's a cap on the family size. I just know when there's more people in the family, they give you more money. It's just like, when you do PA, public assistance, you get more money based on your family size. It's just like that. So and food stamps and all that jazz. So that's definitely a program that had stopped for a while. I found out, and then they revamped it. The person you're going to does not have to give any special anything. They just need to know that they could stay there, and it's okay that they could stay there. They don't have to. They just have to prove like certain things and things like that. No affect benefits, but now it does not. That's how they revamped it, to make sure that people don't go into shelter, and that they are just be able to stay somewhere and stay out of shelter in general. Shelter, honestly, in my opinion, and not for just my opinion, just me just living my life, some shelters can be great. Some shelters can be garbage. And you don't want to put yourself in that trauma if you don't have to. It's better to say people you probably know. Sometimes it's a struggle with that. So if you have to go, you have to go. And just try to have a positive attitude as you possibly can. Do what you need to do and get out of shelter. But it's just sometimes if you can just not go into shelter, it's honestly better for your health and it's more convenient. And they give you just the thing about it too, they give you the city voucher. So you'll get, it'll be basically you staying at your friend's house, family's house, you still get a city voucher by doing this, and they also get paid for rent. So when you go to shelter, you get the city voucher kind of thing, da da da. But instead of going to shelter and going through the stress and the rats and the roaches, or somebody trying to beat you up, or trying to beat a fight, or not having a caseworker, da 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 da, all these things, you just go to somebody that you know and you hopefully trust, and they'll get paid to have you there, and you could probably have more of a peace of mind and know that your stuff's not gonna get stolen, or somebody's gonna beat you up in your sleep, depending what shelter you go to. But yes, or people not creeping in your room when you're sleeping. Like it could be a whole bunch of things, but this is a program called Pathway Homes that they would like that people utilize. If I'm gonna say, guys, if we don't utilize these programs that we have, granted, they should have did a proper launch and make sure that everybody know about Pathway Homes. But if we don't utilize the thing that they put out there for us to use, they're gonna snatch it away. Money's gonna go, like, money's trying to go away already from these programs that we have. But if they have certain programs out and they're telling us to use it, please use those programs. Or please tell somebody that you know who might be able to use it. Or if somebody's in your house and you're like, Girl, I would like, especially in this economic time, like the economy is garbage right now. If you have somebody in your house and you're like, I want them to leave or I want them to actually stay, but I do need help, like light costs money, they're eating your food. This might be a way for you to get money in your pocket to help with your bills, but also having them stay in a safe place other than being in a shelter. So think about that. Think about how this program could definitely help you and to make your life a little bit more easier. So, yes, a lot of different things are in the news. So last year, the mayor elect said he will make sure he pushed through the city FEPS thing, right? This year, from January, he said with everything that happened, because a lot of stuff did happen if you don't know, with just money and funds in general with New York City. It happened with Niger, it happened here, it happened there, in the past couple of years. So, but he's saying, from what I understand, is that because of everything happened before, he can't, because it's also the program's going to be expanded. It's going to be even more money out the pot, and the books are not this and that. I don't like when people promise something, even though it's not promised to me, and you don't get it. And I understand he might not have known what was like the books are actually like until he actually got into the position, right? So I give him that grace. But we need to find a way to get people out of shelter. We need to find a way to get people just housed in general, right? So a couple plans that he have made is to get, because it's been so cold in New York City. If you live here or you're here, right now it's February 3rd. We have had some cold days, cold blue, and they apparently had some set aside small units. I would say basically shelters, not basically the shelters to get people off the street and to get them to those places. I think also with all these things, City Hall needs to work with people who work on the ground or know people who are plugged into these communities. Because sometimes especially because people know about certain, like, they don't want to get swept, or which is when people do encampments in certain places and they get sanitation and the cops come and pick up people and pick up their stuff, people lose everything. Because of these things, people know how to hide sometimes very well, or they go in a train station and things like that. And because of that, you are not talking properly to the people who actually know to get this information out to the people on the ground who are like street homeless. And I know this is not a street homeless channel, but it's just homelessness in general. It's a crisis. It's a problem. When things are programs like that, which is great, and apparently they also had buses out at one point to give heat and to give snack and all these things, right? But if you don't implement it properly by telling the people who work with these homeless people on the street homeless people, that you're going to do all that effort and money's going to go into all these things and they're just not going to get the supplies that they properly need. So we have to be mindful of those things too. I could see definitely the efforts, what's being happening to the people. Another thing that's came out is between the child care stuff, what they announced a couple weeks ago. I know I'm very late. I'm sorry. I should be more up on the date with these guys. But you might be not even noticing. I feel like before I got into this work, I did not know anything was happening in New York City. I just kind of lived here and things happened around me. But I hope that whoever's listening, especially from New York City, if you're not listening to the news, and the news honestly, the past couple of months has been depressing. The past couple of years and change, probably 2-3 years. Honestly, since 2020, the news has taken me out. I'm not gonna lie to you. Since 2020, I've been like, bruh, what's going on? But I want to honestly say that this might be one of your ways that you get your news. Obviously, it's not going to be the full way. I'm only coming on here a bunch of times, and most of the subject I'm talking about is homelessness and family homelessness, to be exact. But I hope that coming on here, you learn some information and you could hopefully pass it on to other people. But they did have a child care thing that came out, and the governor and Mandani, teamed up on that particular thing to do that. So some things are happening, some things are getting taken back. It's just like a lot of things going on. The continuum of care have this also another thing going on. It's just so much things happening in the news. I just want you guys to keep healthy, have great self-care. Make sure that don't make the news of life weigh you down. I could honestly say that. And keep your head up. So if you are a person who's a shelter provider or a community center place, and you want to, I want to say, have me come to your event place. Like if you're having an event coming up and you want me to come to it, definitely DM me. If you're a place that wants me to advertise what's going on in your particular like you're having an event coming up and you want me to advertise that on here and put it on Instagram and things like that, because I would do that. Definitely DM me and give me what I need. Another thing, if you are a person who wants to give resources on here and talk about it, or if you just want to give it to me and I could talk about it, I could definitely do that. Yeah. So we should be having somebody come on talking about human trafficking. This is a different subject. I know I'm giving you a lot in this podcast. I want it to be nice and juicy, right? Um, Probably, hopefully soon. Human trafficking can happen many different ways, and I feel like it changes faces and how it is compared to before. Like when I was younger, it was like more like they come and get the kid, like, but now it's just I feel like more of a grooming situation and being friendly, and then it happens, and it's just all these things happening, and they also considered labor. I didn't even think about that, like labor, like I thought about it, but I just didn't think about it. I feel like it's just in modern times, I just don't think about it as much, like labor trafficking, if that makes any sense. Like you're doing work and you're not really getting the pay that you're supposed to get, right? Um, so it's a lot of different things I have learned in a workshop that I did at 4 Wall Street last week. So that's a lot of different things that's happening. And one thing I heard them say they need more beds for, and they said they actually gonna, because a lot of times trafficking actually goes into domestic violence. They kind of put them together because they do have some aspects of that depending on what kind of trafficking it is and things like that. This guy from the I'm gonna say police department or detective, one of those things, were there at they had a like couple of panels that I went to go listen to the other day. If you look in the link tree and go into my stuff and look under my latest video, at the end of that video, you'll see some what people are talking about, what they're advocating for, about having more. First of all, kind of, I think what I got from the gist of what they're saying is separating really DV and trafficking money, because there's so much DV stuff happening, but not all trafficking is like, with that particular thing, like it'll connect to DV, is this a different thing, and that we need to make sure to give them different funding for because of different things, right? And to make sure they have like trafficking beds. I'm not sure that makes any sense, but to have like places where people are needing to combat that situation where they have to run, just like DV, they have set asides, but they need to have more set asides. They don't want to take over the DV situation, but it's like they have nowhere to put them. Honestly, at this point, and sometimes they need more single beds apparently too. They have more family of everything, which is pretty cool. But we need to advocate for single stuff. So it's a lot of things that if you think you have nothing to advocate for, you can pick homelessness, you can pick family homelessness, you can pick single homelessness, you could pick trafficking, you could pick DV, which is domestic violence. It's so much things to fight for. So if you think you just like, I have nothing to do, I have nothing to live for, live with us and use your voice to make a change. Like, for sure, use your voice to make a change. An event coming up on this Friday. This should be coming out today. So Friday the 26th at, I want to say at 12 o'clock at City Hall Park. They are doing a rally. So there's a lot of different things coming up. I'll probably put it on Instagram and give you more full details than what I'm giving right now. So definitely check that out. And I might see you at one of these rallies. I go to a lot of different things. Some things I go to, something I just tell people about. I'm very busy as a person. Sometimes I just need rest, and I have to make sure. I want to help everybody and do what I want to do. First, I want to make sure I'm safe. I'm a single mom. I gotta make sure I'm safe. And another thing, I have to make sure that I'm doing self-care. I want to help everybody, but I'm one person. I can't help the world. I can only help in my little situation, in my square, and I can only do what I can do, and that's what it is. And I'm a student in school. I only haven't taken one class this semester. Last semester I took 2 classes. I'm giving you a lot in this podcast, and then hopefully I get to take my master's in the fall. So I have a lot going on too. Even though like I said, I want to help the world, but I am only one person, and I'm trying to make a big change. But I need other voices to help me do that. So if you're a person who, especially with lived experience, we need you. We need your voice. We need your face. We need everything about you. Because nobody could tell your story better than you could tell your story. So definitely come on here and definitely check it out. And I love to see you and talk to you. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.